What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Tuesday, August 24th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. You may notice that we're not being joined by our Kabul taxi driver, the legend Pistol Pete Loshak. We are moving Pistol Pete to Friday this week. It's just a one-time thing. He'll be on the show Friday, Pistol Pete Loshak. So Loshak in the bag on Friday. But today, we have 15 games to break down in MLB. This is our last week where we can focus solely. I know we've talked a little CFL, and I'm 2-1 in CFL, but this is our last week where we can really focus on MLB, as come Saturday, NCAA football, just 5 games. But NCAA football on Saturday, and then how many days after that? Then 10 days after that, NFL football. So a lot going on, and our NFL future videos will be released every day. They're going to start being released every day. So I believe tonight you will get the NFC West and the NFC South. We will be breaking down each division. I will be doing it with Babano. I'm very excited to work with Babano. We don't get enough opportunities to work with each other. I'm refreshed. I'm excited. And I can't wait to work with all of you. Shout out to everybody joining us right now. Nasty Nate, first in the chat. Shout out to Nasty Nate. There's real video ready to go. Says Rockies money line. I know it sounds weird to hear. And Diamondbacks money line. Look, we know that these road teams that are under 500, that are the favorites, are undefeated in August. But I haven't pulled the trigger on either the Rockies or the Angels. Market moving against both of them. But one of the problems with the Rockies game was it got down to minus 126 at most books, and it was still hung at minus 140 at Bet365. So I was going to get a 14-cent disadvantage. And then when it moved to minus 129 at the other books, it moved to minus 145 at Bet365. So I've done nothing. But for a video, I am on the Diamondbacks, and I'm nervous about it. I have 3 bets on that Diamondbacks Pirates game, so I'll be watching that very closely. The most important factor, I think, going on in our show right now is, unfortunately, the most important factor probably is that our producer, Jose, has COVID. He has come down with COVID, and we expect a healthy 23-year-old man like Jose to get through this very quickly. And he's feeling good. He's feeling pretty good. You'll see him on the show. He's producing the show. He's still here rocking with us. But it adds another layer of drama for Jose, because Jose now needs to sweep the week. He needs to win each and every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, if he wants to shave his beard and keep his job. So now what could happen is not only is Jose relieved of his duties at the end of the week, he's struggling with COVID as well. So there's an added level of drama with our man Jose, which we will be talking about throughout. Davidless in the house. TJ says, just wanted to thank everyone for their thoughts and prayers. Wifey's doing well, but it will be a long recovery. This is a special group. Man, that makes us so happy to hear that. I know that we've touched base individually, but to let everybody know that it's so important, because everybody's thinking about you, TJ, and you are part of our family, which means that your wife is part of our family as well. So that means a ton to us. Sean Higgs in the house says, to me and Pete, nothing better on a Tuesday. I'm sorry it won't be this Tuesday. I apologize. Real Deal Prime coming on 10-0 yesterday. Wow, 10-0 for Real Deal Prime. Very, very impressive. There's Sammy Culmer in the house. Now, Sammy, your first comment didn't show up because it was quite earlier than but I believed you said you were on the Jays. I believe. Can you hit me with it again, what your play today was, because it's not here. Slatsy says, have hit 4 straight unders with the Jays. Both teams not hitting. And under 4.5 and full game under 9. Also on Diamondbacks with Mad Bum for Slatsy 45, who's running hot right now. Well, I am on the Chicago White Sox. There's Sunny Springs in the house. Viper and B ready to go. Jeff Shahadi. Maddie, I started the Taint play today. Jared, JB, Birdie ready to go. Schnizzle in the house. Let's have a day. Thank God it's Tuesday, because a family that caps together succeeds. I like that. I like that very, very, very much. Like that very, very much. Sean Thompson, serious business. Tyrone Coleman, ready to get to work. Coco Bongo. Mike M says, time to punch in and get to work. Gerardo Hernandez ready to go. We got Creo, Mark Schillingberg, Morgan Spooner, Clint started the diehard MMA podcast. He says that was one thing that my Fridays was missing, the glorious mustache. Well, we're talking about Pete's glorious mustache, but Jose's mustache is just becoming stronger and shinier. And if he thinks he can just shave it and keep his roll here, it's just going to be heartbreaking. It's going to be, I know that I smile a little bit when I say that, but it is going to be heartbreaking. Baby Yoda bet's ready to go. Nasty Nate wants me just to shut down. Nasty Nate just wants me to shut down. I can't. I got to attack this card. And he says, sorry, that was aggressive. No, it's okay, Nasty Nate. I know that you guys have a very close bond, and he will be back on Friday. He will be back here on Friday for us, which means we'll get back-to-back Shacks. Back-to-back Shacks, Friday and Tuesday. All right, Red Girl in the house, J-Rock. Okay, let's get to work. Rob McMahon. Cash action bets. Haven't seen enough of cash action. Great capper. Damon Santori, Joey Harb. Okay, let's get to work. Let's get to work right now. And Clint says, you better be nice to Jose today. He's got COVID, damn it. Yeah, it's not, it adds another element of another level. This is a layered situation we have here. A layered situation here. Oh no, Von Polo on jury duty. Oh no. Sorry to laugh at that. And Rusty Kuntz play of the day is in. We have Rusty Kuntz play of the day in. And let me just grab this very quickly. I'll pop this in. This is for the first game on the deck. This is a tricky game. I came close. I came close twice to taking the under in this and stop myself. The Rusty Kuntz play of the day is in. So we're going to talk about that right away. We're going to let that lead us in to our first game on the board. I hate hearing that Coco Bongo about the crash at Del Mar. Del Mar did take a little over $300 from me. Actually, not Del Mar alone, but the Saturday was not a good day of racing for me. Upsetting. I'm looking forward to. I want to bounce back. I want to get back on Razor Show immediately. Jeffrey Blue Balls pick of the day. Rays team total over. We'll be hitting it live too if Suarez can hold them down for a few innings. So the Blue Balls pick of the day is in. It is the Rays team total over. Let me just copy and paste that and have that ready to go for when we break down that Rays game. I'm on the under 9 at minus 105. Very interesting market there with the full game over getting bet. So the full game under 9 was plus 100. Yet when you have a full game at 9 that's juiced to the over, you're certain you're going to get a 5 at for the first 5. But no, there's a 4.5 first 5. So it's a very, very, very strange. We got our guys ready to go. LJ from H-Town ready to eat. North Ender, Professor Chris, Sammy Calmer says, pains me to be on the opposite side, but yes, Blue Jays tonight. Oh man, I didn't see it. Sorry, I was so the horses really got in my head, and I hit the sauce pretty hard. I will go back, Sammy, and check it out. Thank you for letting me know. And Red Girl loving Jays first 5 or full game under. And the spreadsheet play today is in as well. The spreadsheet play of the day. Let's move over there right now. Spreadsheet play of the day is in. Oakland Athletics. The spreadsheet play of the day is in. So we have spreadsheet and Rusty Kuntz to get us started. Let's move this here. All right. Well, let's get right to work and let's get after it right now. It's okay to be hammered on our horse shows. We all take a turn. There's beast mode ready to go. So let's eat and let's attack the board right now. So we start with 2 plays of the day. We have 4 showcase plays of the day at this point on the show. Rusty Kuntz, one of them, is ready to attack right now. And let's bring up old Rusty Kuntz, because it's been a while since we've seen Sweet, sweet Rusty Kuntz. Resting very comfortably on the nutsack of Rusty Kuntz is the star of the play of the day, Turnsy. And it is no run, first inning, Seattle, Oakland. That's how we get started right now with Rusty. Then we quickly move right from Rusty to the spreadsheet play of the day. Oakland A's. There we go. Oakland A's play of the day. The spreadsheet play of the day hitting at 63.2% on the show. 12 wins and 7 losses. Ty Clinton says A's have been losing games lately. Respect North Ender and Dominique Jackson. College football shows are starting immediately. We have our futures up. Babano and CMAC broke down all 5 conference futures as well as one video for all of the smaller conferences. But the Power 5 are all up and the smaller conferences are all up. So they're all up right now. And there's Vincent Sigger saying, what's good, Jimmy? Just checking in before I hit this 14-hour DoorDash shift. Just trying to make ends meet. Much love to you, Vincent. Let's see if we can help with some baseball action to get you rolling. Seattle Mariners, 68-58, 31-33 on the road at Oakland A's, 70-56, 35 and 28 at home. Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California, 63 Fahrenheit clear, 6 miles per hour out to left center. Chris Flexen on the mound for the Mariners, 10-5, 3.65 ERA, 1.25 whip, 133 and a third, 90 Ks, 27 walks, 14 home runs. His last start at the Rangers was his best road start in some time. We'll go over his splits. Well, we'll go over them now. At home, 6-4, 2.70 ERA, opponents hitting 241. On the road, 4-1, 4.92 ERA, opponents hitting 311. So he goes to Texas. He has a good start. Now, the bullpen fell apart for him. They did win 9-8, but he went 7 innings, allowed 4 hits, 1 solo shot, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 5 Ks. Going up against Cole Irvin. Brady says, where are you on the Bucks Cowboys game 1? I am still very deep in my study. And, look, I'm reading everything that Bruce Arians is saying about his football team and how they can average 40 points a game this year and how they bring back 22 starters. And so I just need a little bit more time. I just need a little bit more time on that spot. But don't worry. We still got some time, even with okay. I need more time. Brady ready to break it down. Look, there's going to be a ton of breakdowns. I promise you, a ton of breakdowns. There's C. James in the house. Thank you for respecting the Kraken. The Kraken didn't bring me glory, C. James. I'm still angry. Okay, so we'll go to Cole Irvin, 9-11, 3.57 ERA, 1.21 whip, 141 in the third, 97 Ks, 29 walks, 12 home runs. His last start, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 walks, 1 K, in a 5-4 win at the White Sox. The Mariners, if you look at the way the Mariners are hitting lefties, and you look at these 2 bullpens, well, you immediately think, I should bet the under here. Mariners versus lefties, 224, 650 OPS. A's versus righties in this last 30 days with the Mariners as well. All these stats will be 232, 726 OPS. Mariners bullpen last 30 days, 3.47 ERA, 1.10 whip. Excellent. Converted 8 of 15 save opportunities. That's not great, but A's bullpen last 30 days, 3.06 ERA, 1.11 whip. Again, they've had a problem closing the door. Converted just 6 of 11 save opportunities. So Brock Hurley saying Diamondbacks money line is free money. I'm scared. I'm on them first 5 in full game, but I'm scared. Okay, so we talk about everything need to correlate. At least I've been talking about it. Everything kind of need to correlate for me to attack. And I'm hanging perilously over the black unit mark on the season. The last show we had Friday was extremely frustrating. I thought I was going to go 6-2 and had some just awful breaks late. Ended up 3-5 and almost threw my computer out the window. So I'm 262 and 232, 53%, just up 1.85 units on the year. ROI just plus 0.37. And it's so irritating that that's the case. But let's start with why does not everything correlate. First off, The first problem is they smash Cole Irvin. 424 average, 957 OPS against them. They're 14 for 33. But smash might be a little harsh because only 2 of those 14 hits are for extra bases. You would think if a team was hitting 424 against you, you'd have an OPS over 1,000. So that's not the case. 12 singles and 2 doubles. So smash probably isn't the right term. And then Flexen gets hit by the A's. They're hitting 283 with an 805 OPS, 13 for 46. And here we have 7 of the 13 hits for extra bases. Now 6 doubles and 1 home run. So that's the first spot that doesn't really correlate with the under. Then we'll move on to the market moves in this game. And we have the total opening up at 8.5, minus 110 to the over. There's been a 7-cent move to the over. It's now minus 117. We've also seen a 1-cent move to the Oakland A's. Okay, 1-cent move to the Oakland A's. And a huge card for cash action. Huge card for cash action. And Razor Stripes is Oakland ruined the 4-0 Gambler's First Glance sweep last week, but we are on to this week and ready to fire. Puzzler says every Mariner with 4 more at-bats versus Cole Irvin has at least a 400 average. Crawford, France, Seager, Murphy, and Kelenic. But Irvin has not given up a home run to any Mariner in the lineup. Interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. Creo says first 5 overs should be solid. Both pitchers give up runs against the opposite team. And C. James is on the A's team total over 4.5 at minus 106. So then we'll move over to the cash. So we've seen that the market's moving 7 cents towards the over and 1 cent to the A's. Well, let's see here. We have 4,892 tickets in, so a nice sample size. 52% of the tickets on the A's and 21% of the cash. 21% of the cash. That's it. Wild. Then we have 45% of the tickets on the over and 67% of the cash on the over. So, and there's Noli Nose in the house. I'm hoping Noli Nose can make his debut with us here this week. Real Deal Prime says too many ways to look at it. Good luck, guys. And Noli says he's taking Vegas' money today. Man. Noli, is Thursday an okay day for you? I'd love to have you jump on Thursday if you can. TJ says I'm in the minority here, but I have Flexen as a better pitcher, and I'm on Seattle first 5. It does feel like that first 5 over 4.5 should be in play here. It should be in play. Let's take a look at this first 5 market move here and then decide. Everything else sort of pointing towards it. Let's see. Pinnacle opens at minus 110. That's where it stands right now. I wonder why the full game over would be getting bet when these bullpens are pitching so well and the first 5 not being bet. It's strange. I'm going to move over to Bet Online and see if they've moved it at all. They haven't. No movement. Mike M says sexy flexy for the winner. And Steve Smith saying don't go with the over. Steve Smith says he likes the Mariners and the under. C. James says, what do the pigeons say about this A's game versus Mariners? Oh man, we don't need to know. They're making eye contact with me and banging. Well, I guess it's probably too much of a coin flip. But spreadsheet play today on the A's turns the on no-run first inning. Sean Thompson says this game stays under. I have a lean towards the first 5 over. A lean. And I don't want to sit here and hum and haw on this first game. But I certainly have a lean towards the first 5 over. Razor Sharp Pick says, are the pigeons still banging on the balcony? No, they banged all morning. They're now smoking a cigarette. I can hear them laughing at me. Relaxed. Feet up. And Noli says that works. So why don't we lock that in? Noli knows joining us here on Pub Sports Radio on Thursday. Let's lock that in. Italian Stallion says, I like flexing first 5. All right, I'm going to move on. But we do have the spreadsheet play of the day here on the Oakland A's. And we have the Rusty KUNTZ play today on no-run first inning. All right, so we move on, and I'm leaning towards that first 5 over. We move on. That's the only afternoon game on Tuesday's slate. We move to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Angels 62-64, 29-34 on the road at Baltimore Orioles 38-35, 17-40 at home. So after Friday, as of Friday, so not including this weekend, but we know there's more W's coming up. As of Friday, these road teams that are under 500 that were favorites were 19-0. So why don't you just bet the Angels here? Cash action bets on the Angels. And the problem is Dylan Bundy. Viper says the total's gone under in 13 of LA Angels' last 17 games and playing on the road against Baltimore. There's 2 things that jumped out at me, and I tried so hard to bet the Angels. I don't trust Dylan Bundy, who has been better on the road than he has been at home. We'll go over those splits. But the Angels over the last 30 days are hitting .217 with a .622 OPS. Terrible. Bill McDonald says Orioles finally get the win here. And we have the market moving towards both these home dogs. So let's break it down. 83 Fahrenheit, humid, 3 miles per hour to left center in Camden Yards, Baltimore, Maryland. Dylan Bundy, 2-9, 6.04 ERA, 1.33 WHIP, 89 and a third, 81 Ks, 31 walks, 19 home runs. In his last start, he went 4 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and an 8-2 win at the Tigers. He's better on the road than he is at home. 1-4, 6.75 ERA, 272 opponent's batting average. But you have to think that this Orioles lineup knows this guy inside and out. He started his career there, and he was there all through 2019. On the road, he's 1-5, 5.40 ERA, opponents earning 236 against him. Going up against Spencer Watkins, 2-5, 5.63 ERA, 1.55 WHIP, just 25 Ks in 40 innings, 16 walks, 5 home runs allowed. His last start was at the Rays, and it was ugly. 4 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, no homers, 2 walks and 2 Ks. But now he gets to face a team that's absolutely abysmal against righties. I mean, only the Rangers are hitting righties worse. LJ from H-Town says Angels are 3-0 against Orioles this season, plus Orioles lost 18 straight, allowed 149 runs total, 8 average runs per game. Steve Smith says Bundy going back to his original team that he actually played well with at times, says give me Bundy. Emmanuel Smith says the O's got better batters. They certainly do right now. The issue is, and the Orioles versus righties, they're not, ripping the leather off the ball, 246, 714 OPS. The issue is the bullpen. The bullpen for the Angels, 3.74 ERA, 1.26 WHIP over the last 30 days, have closed 7 of 8 opportunities. Orioles bullpen, 6.75 ERA, 1.54 WHIP, have converted 2 of 4 save opportunities. So the Orioles bullpen is allowing 3 more runs per 9 innings than the Angels bullpen. Yes, Davidless O's are still on the losing streak. Real Deal Prime says my inner vibrations say Angels. I'm going with it. Dab Fan says I lost a couple times lately fading Bundy. How many of these O's really know Bundy? I'm on the Angels. Fair. George Gutierrez says fade the Orioles until the losing streak stops. These are all legitimate comments. Completely legitimate. Let's just go to baseball data and then look at the market moves here. Baseball data, only Pedro Severino has actually faced Bundy in a game, 0 for 3 against him, and only Lagares and Fletcher have faced Watkins. So there we go there. Then we'll go to the market move in this spot. By the way, the first 5 has gone from 5.5 to 6, but let's go to full game money lines and totals here and then decide exactly how we want to attack this or if we want to attack it. The Angels opened up at -139. They're now -133, a 6-cent move towards the Orioles. But it had gone all the way down to -122 at 8:43 in the morning. And that tells me the sharps are on the Orioles. But, and a huge but, we see sharps do this all the time. We saw sharps bet the Browns week after week after week when they were, couldn't possibly win a game, and we're losing by 2 scores every Sunday. So it's not a huge surprise, but it's worth noting. It's worth noting that the sharps here are on the Orioles. John Garcia says, any road favorites today, Jimmy, under 500, and I hope you keep feeling better after your bout with COVID, John Garcia. I hope you keep on the improve. And yes, the Angels and the Rockies are road favorites that are under 500. Steve Smith says, common sense plays, take Angels. Don't try to catch falling knife. Look, Steve, it's well put. It's absolutely well put what you're saying. Well put. There's 4,526 tickets in. 69% of the tickets are on the Angels and 39% of the cash. Then we have 72% of the tickets on the under and 97% of the cash. TJ says Angels have played a ton of games in a bunch of cities recently. They look sluggish against the Guardians, but can't back O's, have to pass. Rodney Barton says, I like the Angels' run line. Watkins has been destroyed at home this past month. And there's Eric Jones in the house. Same with Crystal Warren. And says Angels have won last 5 games where they were the favorite. And David Summers, straight cash homie play today is Braves full game minus 127. That was a market move I did beat. I'll copy and paste that right now and put it over the Braves game. I'm not going to move on this. I'm not going to move on this game. I don't want to be in a public versus a sharp situation here. Joe Chris says it smells like an over. And CT Bay says pass and put the money on Mad Bum and D-backs first 5. Michael Irvelina says just take the Angels team total because Watkins going to give up runs and the bullpen's complete trash. I was going to give it way more runs than you. Oh. Don't worry about aside. Don't worry about aside. Okay. Jeffrey Blue says Angels run line for me. Being on this train, last 10, not getting off till the ride's over. I get it. There's Ron Lofton in the house. And Matty Ice, I am on the under in that game. That was the only market move I beat. I bet the under 9.5 last night, minus 120. But while it went to 9 everywhere else this morning, it was still at 9.5 and minus 120 at bet 365. So I could have bet it this morning. Much love, John. Much love. All right, so we move on at this point. 7:05 p.m. Eastern, next up on the docket, and here is a triple up. Oh, man. Oh, God, I'm going to be I'll be shirt off, briskly pacing back and forth watching this. I'm on the Diamondbacks full game minus 120. Bet that last night. My book had the worst line of every book. Diamondbacks first 5 minus a half at minus 110. And then I'm on the Arizona Pittsburgh first 5 under 4.5 at minus 115, which means I am going to be needing JT Brubaker to have a good start. Which, no worries, Michael Irvelina, my man. And Maddie says, have fun watching that game. And Creo's on Diamondbacks money line in the full game over. Let's break this down. Diamondbacks 42-84. I'm doubling up on a team that's 15-48 on the road. Pirates are 45-80. 25-35 at home. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 87 Fahrenheit. Partly cloudy, 3 miles per hour in. Jeff Joseph says, Jimmy, any Vegas updates? Yes. We are still working on it. So it hasn't been abandoned. We're still working on it. But, COVID's running rampant, and, the Jose getting COVID. I mean, there are red flags right now that we're concerned about. I hate saying all that, but that's where we stand right now. CD Bay says, what am I missing? Y line is so nice. First 5 Diamondbacks Diamondbacks pen cost me last night. All right. Let's get to work. Schillingberg said, I just don't trust the under with all the homers Brubaker's been giving up there, Jim. I get it, Mark. And Kevin Riley in the house says pass. I get it. But I think this will be a much easier spot for JT Brubaker. And sometimes you need to come home to get right. He's had some tough spots of late. But let's break it down more. Bumgarner, 7-7, 4.06 ERA, 1.10 WHIP, 106 in the third, 93 Ks, 23 walks, 14 home runs. His last start was a thing of beauty. He's been pitching very, very well. 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and a 6-2 win at home versus the Phillies. In July, he was 1-1 with a 2 ERA, opponents hitting 203 against him. In August, he's 2-1 with a 1.88 ERA, opponents hitting 224 against him. I have to back him. Kenny B says the Pirates are being terrible when Brubaker takes them out. The club has lost 11 of Brubaker's last 12 starts. Eric Jones is also on the first 5 under 4.5. I like hearing that. Brubaker's last start was at the Dodgers, Chavez Ravine. It's a tough case. He goes 4 innings, allows 8 hits, 7 earned runs, 3 homers, 2 walks, 6 Ks. His splits used to be very good at home, and they're not anymore. 3-5, 4.14 ERA, 2.33 opponents' batting average. Not terrible. On the road, he's abysmal. 1-8, 6.68 ERA, 2.70 opponents' batting average. Look, I know that I'm setting myself up. And let's just talk a little more here. In July, Brubaker, 0-3, 6.57 ERA, 2.47 opponent's batting average. Even worse in August, 0-3, 12.86 ERA, 3.28 opponent's batting average. And maybe I'm putting too much into this fact that this is going to be such an easier opportunity for him, and he's pitching at home. Diamondbacks last 30 days are hitting 230 with a 684 OPS versus righties. The Pirates are hitting 224 with a 623 OPS versus lefties. We will, Von Polo. I know that this, I think this is going to be the last huge wave. And I know I've said that before, but I do think we're going to come out the other side of this. Slatsy says, I'm telling you, Jimmy, when we're on the same game, our record is tremendous. Bet full game already, and I will join you on the first 5. Let's roll. Joe Chris is on the Diamondbacks first 5 plus a half. You mean minus a half, right? Yeah, because they're favorites. Oh, I'm nervous. And the pimp slap play today from Mike M is Arizona first 5 under 4.5. Says take this little gift from the bookies. Pop that here. And pimp slap here. I'll just copy and paste it. Ronnie Lofton says, wish my D-backs would bring back Colangelo as an owner. LJ from H-Town is on the Diamondbacks first 5 in full game. And CT Bay says the Mets got him for 4 runs in 3 innings. No easy spot for him. Brubaker looks tired. George Gutierrez is on the under. And Sean Thompson says here he gives you a decent start coming off a win. Pirates is my lean. And Creo says D-backs should ride here. Okay, so we want to stay away from these bullpens. Diamondbacks bullpen last 30 days, 5.44 ERA, 1.51 WHIP. Have converted 5 of 9 save opportunities. Pirates bullpen terrible, 5.48 ERA, 1.49 WHIP. Have converted 2 of 7 save opportunities. So let's go to baseball data next. And it's another sign for me why I moved on the first 5 under is that the Diamondbacks have never seen Brubaker before. And then for Bumgarner, he doesn't have good numbers against these guys, but I just feel like he's a different pitcher right now, and the sample size is pretty small. They're 9 for 27 against him, 333 average, 863 OPS. Let's move over to the market here. And this market has the total was juiced to the under 8.5. It's now juiced to the over 8.5. So a legitimate move to the over. And not only that, but it's gone up to 9 twice. So, God, it's just a whole bunch of mixed messages in this market here. It opens yesterday at 8:02 p.m. at 8.5, juiced to the under. By 1 a.m., it's at 8, and it stays at 8 for 7 hours, 6.5 hours. At 7:30 a.m., it goes to 8.5. Then at 10:35 a.m., it goes to 9. And then it's only at 9 for 4 minutes before it's bet down to 8.5. And then it goes back up to 9 and down to 8.5. So mixed messages there. Why don't we just take a look at what Pinnacle's done with the first 5, because that's what I'm betting, and they're not going to show me. So why don't we see what BetOnline is doing with this first 5. So the first 5 total here opened at 4 at minus 120 at 7:20 in the morning, and then went up to 4.5. But right now it's juiced quite heavily to the under in the 4.5. So let's move over to the cash flow and see if we should be extremely uncomfortable here. 3,492 tickets in. 88% of the tickets, 74% of the cash on Arizona. So that should correlate with them full game. And it does. The Diamondbacks opened up at plus 101, got up to minus 118, and they're now sitting at minus 116. So that correlates perfectly, comfortable there. Then on the total, 53% of tickets on the, 59% of tickets on the under, and 93% of cash on the under. Coco Bongo says the under is cashed in 11 of the Diamondbacks' last 15 games versus an NL Central opponent. That's a great stat. CT Base says Diamondbacks 10-1 last 11 games at Pittsburgh. Was 10 in a row before last night. And Eric Jones says too much line movement, not real movement. Under is the play, fake line moves. And Joe Chris considering the Diamondbacks on the run line, and George Gutierrez saying not going over 2 in a row. So this is my game that I'm going to be most invested in this evening. 2 teams that have combined to go, 80 games under 500? Whatever. Mr. Nimbus says, Mad Bum, Johnny K liking the over. I'm on the Diamondbacks full game minus 120. Diamondbacks first 5 minus half minus 110. Arizona, Pittsburgh first 5 under 4.5 minus 115. And Viper says this is a trappy game, and I'm nervous about it. No doubt about it. All right, let's move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. What do we have? Sorry, it's going over when is Jose's action coming up here? It is the...
You've got a while. It's Reds Brewers. Spoiler
Reds
alert.
Brewers. Okay, Reds Brewers. And see, you hear his voice. Does that sound like a man who's struggling with COVID? No. Sounds like a man who's fearful of losing his job. Let's move on here. The Tampa Bay Rays at Philadelphia Phillies. I moved on the under 9 and minus 105 last night. Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 86 Fahrenheit, clear, 5 miles per hour, sideways across the diamond. And Taint play of the day is in. Taint play of the day is in. The first 5 under 4.5 minus 120. Wow, I looked at this game over and over and over again. The Taint play of the day. Tigers, Cardinals. And let's get this set up here so we can break that down. I came very close to betting it. The heat in St. Louis is unbearable today. It's going to be 92 Fahrenheit at first pitch, but it will feel like 108 Fahrenheit. And for whatever reason, that makes me so uncomfortable. And Noli No says love it. And TJ says TJ's play of the day is the same as the Taint. I didn't know that. TJ's play of the Taint is the same as the Taint. Okay, I'm looking forward to talk about that game. But let's talk about this game here. Rays 77-48, 36-25 on the road. Philadelphia Phillies 63-61, 36-25 at home. 86 Fahrenheit, clear, 5 miles per hour, sideways across the diamond. Drew Rasmussen. And just another example of how spectacular the Rays are. I mean, on Friday, the Rays brass, not their team necessarily, but on Friday, I talked about how I was going to back Michael Wacha because the Rays kept bringing him out there. And Wacha had a good start. And we ended up in extra innings. And the White Sox didn't score in the top of the 10th after getting him out in second. And the Rays couldn't get their run in. And that really, really set me off. That begun my very frustrated, angry weekend. It's Guillermo Zertucci in the house. Great to see you, G. Mr. Nimbus is on Philly. There's Millsy, MMA locker room ready to rock. Rasmussen as a Brewer, 4.24 ERA, 1.47 whip, 25 Ks in 17 innings. As a Ray, he only has 32 Ks in 30 innings, but 3.30 ERA, 1.13 whip, coming off a 4-inning performance, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks, and a 10-0 win at home over the Orioles. He just looks very good right now. Ranger Suarez 5-4, 1.47 ERA, 1.02 whip, 55 innings, 53 Ks, 24 walks, 3 home runs. In his last start, he got roughed up for the first time really all year. I think he's a phenomenal young pitcher. 4 2/3, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, no homers, 4 walks, 2 Ks, and a 4-2 loss to Arizona. At home, he's 4-0 with a 1.35 ERA, and opponents are hitting 120 against him. And I watched him shut down the Dodgers lineup. On the road, he's 1-4 with a 1.59 ERA, 2.14 opponents batting average. Now, there was a time this year, and it wasn't long ago. It wasn't even 2 months ago when the Rays were not hitting lefties at all. They trade for Nelson Cruz, and it's not just Nelson Cruz, but they're now hitting 274 with an 836 OPS last 30 days against lefties. Unbelievable. Phillies versus righties, just 231, 713 OPS. So the one line that didn't correlate for me, even though I love Suarez, was how hard the Rays are hitting lefties. Rays bullpen last 30 days, 2.74 ERA, 1.08 whip, have converted 5 to 6 save opportunities. Phillies bullpen's been decent, 4.29 ERA, whip high at 1.49, but have converted 6 of 8 save opportunities. CT Bay says, I'm on the first 5 under in Philly. Both starters with better numbers lately than season stats. Not really Suarez, because he got touched up a bit last start, but I agree definitely with the Rasmussen look there. Creo says Phillies bats 227 at night compared to 227. We have night there twice. Oh, 256 in the daytime. Okay, thank you. Plessler says Suarez walks far too many, though. Creo, I get them, and I think everybody should get them at Fangraphs. Fangraphs is the best, and I trust them very much. All right. And Eric Rosas says, hit a home run parlay with Olsen and Perez last night. Biggest score in baseball this year for me, boys. That a boy, Eric Rosas. I love hearing that. Okay, so let's go to baseball data. There won't be much. Against Rasmussen, 9 at-bats are 1 for 9. Against Suarez, 1 for 2. And Suarez's whip still is 1.02. So it's still very good, even though he walks, 24 walks in 55 innings. That's impressive. Let's go over to the market move in this game. And now that CT Base is on the first 5, I find it very interesting. It opened at 9.5. It went to 9. I had to get it at 9, which upset me. But it looks like Bet Online. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Yeah, no, everybody's still at 9. Oh, no, Heritage just moved it to 9.5. I wonder, is there heat coming in on this over now? There is. Heritage opened this at 9, and it's now up to 9.5 at Heritage. Interesting. That's a little surprising. And then let's take a look at the first 5 total. CT Bays is on it. And he's a hell of a capper. You really want to be on the same side as him as much as possible. It opened at 5. It's now at 4.5. But Bet Online has it at 5. So Bet Online opened it at 4.5. So there's got to be money coming in on the over now. There's got to be money on the over now. Mike M says Phillies first 5 plus a half. It's a nice little hammer spot for me. You see a pitching duel here? Huh. All right, well, let's see where the cash lies. It just feels like there's money got to be pouring in right now on the over. Let's see if that's true. 4,337 tickets in. 77% of the tickets on the Rays, 62% of the cash. Then we have 42% of tickets on the under and 63% of cash on the under. Well, I'm not going to make another move on it. It is the Phillies bullpen that scares me the most. If I was going to say how would I lose this bet? If I was to predict how I was going to lose it, I would say the most likely way of losing it is with the Phillies bullpen. The Phillies under 4.5 is at minus 135 team total. It's juiced, but I like it. Mark Schlemberg says nice little no-run first inning here. And Jamal says Al Bundy revenge game on deck. Ohtani 2 homers. And Puzzler saying Tampa Bay is a huge pitching advantage. I'm much higher on Ranger Suarez than you are than Puzzler. CT Bay says full game will probably go over with Phillies pen. That's why I need first 5 under. I hear that loud and clear. But if I got a 5, I'd be on it. But the difference between the 4.5 and the 9, it's huge. It's a big difference to me. It's big enough. So I lose this game. So if they score 4.5 runs in the first 5, the only way I lose this game is if for over 5 runs in the last 4 innings. Taylor MacArthur says Tampa will shut them down. Jeffrey Blue says don't see Suarez going over 4. They're trying to stretch him out. They're trying to. Creo says nice eye on that Phillies team total under. And CT Bay's agreeing that no run first inning is a good look. I like both of those ideas. So no run first inning and Phillies team total under. I hate that minus 135 beside it. And that's my limit. And if it's a limit, it's something I want to be really confident on. It does feel like a good play, though. All right, so these are possible additions. No run first inning and the Phillies team total under. But I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait a bit because it feels like money's moving towards the over. Mike M says Tampa Bay 19-5-3 to the over is a road favorite. All right. And Rodney says taking the under scares me in this game. There's Nate Dogg in the house. Okay, great to see you, Nate Dogg. We move on. 7:07 p.m. Eastern, Chicago White Sox at Toronto Blue Jays. I moved on the White Sox at plus 110. It's twofold for me. One, I have the better baseball team with George Springer out of the lineup especially. And then two, the Blue Jays bullpen is suspect. And they used some important pieces last night. And Eric Jones, Pete will be here Friday. We switch days to Friday. And Taylor MacArthur loving the Nats first 5. Taylor MacArthur. So Taylor MacArthur, are you T-Mac from Twitter? Taylor MacArthur, let me know if you're T-Mac from Twitter. Loving the Nats first 5 today from Taylor MacArthur. Slat says, do you know if Tim Anderson is back? All we could do is check right now, but it's probably too early in the morning. Look, I know he's the straw that stirs the drink. Sore legs, right? They just keep saying sore legs. And the spreadsheet play today is the Oakland A's. Oakland A's. I believe that I have an advantage here. I do. And I'm getting a plus 110 line. Okay. Yes, there's a T-Mac on Twitter connecting with. I wonder if that's Taylor MacArthur here. Okay, so let's get to work here. Rogers Center, Toronto, Ontario. Jays at home doesn't really help us because they've been all over the place. But White Sox on the road, 30-31 this year. 83 Fahrenheit, humid, partly cloudy, 8 miles per hour, sideways out to the right field pole. Dylan Cease, 9-6, 4.06 ERA, 1.26 WHIP, 130 and 2/3, 170 Ks, 53 walks, 16 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings, allowed 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 4 walks, 5 Ks, and a 5-4 loss at home versus the A's. He's not been great. And he's not good on the road. So there's a reason why we're getting plus 110. Bill McDonald has Cease over 5.5 Ks. And Creo, we do not know if Tim Anderson's going to be back. And Joe Chris liking him over 6 Ks. So at home, he's 5-2 with a 2.61 ERA, 198 opponent's batting average. On the road, just 4-4, 5.86 ERA, 258 opponent's batting average. Going up against Jose Barrios, who has not looked good in his last 2 starts. 8-6, 3.52 ERA, 1.10 WHIP, 145 Ks in 143 innings, 40 walks, 16 home runs. His last start, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 1 homer, 3 walks, 3 Ks, and 8-5 loss at Washington. Kenny saying, White Sox full game, team total White Sox over 4, -120. Christopher Comentini says burned by the White Sox too many times. And Creo says, I think the Blue Jays have starting pitching edge, but their bats are severely slacking. I would have said they had a starting pitching edge. Possible. I don't know if they do, man. I don't know if they do. Slatsy says White Sox 1 run in 18 innings. Jays hitting's gone south, which is why I'm on a double up on the under. Jays have not seen Cease, and that's a big deal that they haven't seen Cease. White Sox versus righties last 30 days, 238, 709 OPS. Blue Jays 255, 766 OPS. White Sox bullpen last 30 days, 4.11 ERA, 1.22 whip, have converted 5 of 11. Blue Jays bullpen 4.32 ERA, 1.30 whip, have converted 6 of 10. Let's move to the market. This first 5, the total is being open at 4.5, heavily juiced to the over, and it's now basically a pick 'em. So Slatsy's look to the under being followed at least by the markets at this point. Then we have full game opening at 9, juice to the under, and Pinnacle just moved it down to 8.5. So Pinnacle, Bet Online, Heritage, UWager, Bodog just moved it to 8.5. Still at 9 at Intertops, Bet365 at Sports Interaction. Let's take a look at the money line here. And we have Jays opening up at -130. They're now -125. So a 5-cent move towards the White Sox. When we look at Barrios against these guys, as we know the Jays haven't seen Cease, against Barrios, they're hitting 240 with a 688 OPS. He shuts them down. Sean Thompson says, Jays, my play of the day. Joe Chris on the under. Kenny V says, Blue Jays bullpen also played with injuries. Adam Simber, Tim Meza, and Jordan Romero both pitched on Monday night, so the pen looks to be a bit short-handed. That was my biggest piece, Kenny. That was my biggest piece. So let's take a look at where the cash lies. We know there's been a 5-cent move to the White Sox. 5-cent move to the White Sox, 3,480 tickets in. 56% of the tickets on the White Sox, 61% cash on the White Sox, so that makes sense. 5-cent move towards them, sure. Then we have a 44% of the tickets on the over and 87% of cash on the over. Did they get in at 8.5 or 9? I'm not sure about. All right. Creo says Barrow's given up 11 runs in the last 18 innings. Yeah, he has not looked good. He's not looked good. So I think that, look, I probably don't make this bet if it's -110 each way. But at +110, I'm getting enough implied probability to take the better team. If Tim Anderson's announced in because this offense is not rolling without him, the market will move drastically. If he's not announced in, the Jays don't have Springer either. The Jays have never seen Cease, and the Jays bullpen is tired. So I am betting against my hometown, where I live now, Blue Jays. Okay, there you have it. I'm on the White Sox +110 full game. We move on. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Next on the docket, Minnesota Twins 54-70, 24-37 on the road at the Boston Red Sox 71-55, 39-25 at home. We're at Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. 81 Fahrenheit, humid, 3 miles per hour to left center. Griffin Jacks on the bump for the Twinkies. 3-1, 5.11 ERA, 1.25 WHIP. 44 innings, 35 Ks, 15 walks, 11 home runs. In his last start, he goes 6 innings, allows 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 of which were earned, 1 homer, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and a 5-4 extra inning win at home versus the Indians. Tanner Houck on the other side, 0-3, 3.12 ERA, 1.15 WHIP, 34 2/3, 46 Ks, just 7 walks, 2 home runs. His last start left a bit to be desired for me. 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. No homers, no walks, 2 Ks, and a 5-3 loss at the Yankees in a 7-inning doubleheader. I lost the first 5 under in that spot. Jeffrey Blue says he's with George on the under in there. Johnny K on Twins. Cash action bets on the Twins. And Davidla says White Sox moved from +116 to +108. And Viper says Tool's gone under in 5 of Toronto's last 6 games when playing the Chicago White Sox. Real Deal Prime says Jackson and Magician CT base on Minnesota, Boston first 5 under says Jackson and Houck have been decent. Twins versus righties last 30 days, they're hitting them hard. 251 and 782 OPS. Red Sox versus righties, 254, 770 OPS. Twins bullpen 4.50 ERA, 1.20 WHIP, have converted 5 of 9 save opportunities last 30 days. Red Sox bullpen last 30, 5.01 ERA, 1.55 WHIP, have converted just 5 of 9. Jose saying that he's been banned from talking Sox on this program. That's just his own self-imposed ban. We've not banned him. Mark Schillingberg says a lot to be desired last time out for Houck. Lost to K-Prop first time with him. So, let's take a look at the baseball data, and then we'll look at the market. Then we'll see where the cash lies, and then make a decision here. Neither team has seen the opposite picture. So, I'd love to have my ROI on these situations this year taking the under, because they'd be good. Ski says, Jimmy, what do you think about taking faves at like minus 200 when they should be minus 300? Like the implied probability thing. Shouldn't it be the same as taking the plus money because of implied probability? Yes, Ski. Yes. And we see Ant L and Twadi Latte doing that very, very well. So, and we see Pete Loshak doing that very well. So absolutely it should. It's just something that I have veered away from it, and it quite likely could be a mistake. In those situations, I turn them into a -1 line to get the juice down, but it quite likely could be a mistake in my capping when you see cappers who consistently beat MLB doing it. So you're absolutely right. Okay. So let's see what Jose says. With that being said, I like the first 500 as well. Houck is the right-handed Chris Sale, and I've said that for months. Okay. Crystal Warren said I had Boston on the run line yesterday. Thought it was gone. Then was saved. Okay. I don't think that there's value fading the Minnesota Twins here, and because of the way they're hitting righties. Now, I said that, and I was so wrong in one of the games in the Yankees series when the Yankees, it was the John Gant start that made me look like an ass clown. And John Gant got through 2 innings pretty nice, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm right. But I just think that the Twins offensively are too strong to be this big of a dog. This total went from 10 to 10.5. I know a lot of guys talking about the first 5 under. Let's just see what this first 5 has done. And it's just 3 miles per hour out to left center, but it's very humid in Boston today. This total's gone from 5.5 to 6. The first 5 is now at 6. And I guess when it comes down to it, I don't think I want anything to do with this just because I think the Twins are – and I guess what I'm trying to say is it'd probably be Twins are no bet, but I do think Houck is a good pitcher. 3,984 tickets in, 59% of the tickets, 69% of the cash on the Red Sox. And then here you go, 58% of the tickets, 95% of the cash on the under. Ooh-wee. CT basis, Houck 2 earned runs or less in 5 of the last 6 starts. Yeah, but when you only go 4 innings, it makes me uncomfortable. And Kenny V says, oh my God, it's 6. I'm taking the under. There's Tony Bruscher in the house. CT Base says, if I need 7 runs to lose, I'm on it. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I'm just hesitant with the way these guys are hitting the ball. And Nasty Nate says the Red Sox do not want Jose's support. Okay, I don't know what to do with this spot. At this point, I can understand moving on the under 6. I can understand it. I'm going to put a question mark beside it and study it more. All right. Okay, let's move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. San Francisco Giants 80-44, 38-25 on the road at New York Mets 61-63, 36-23 at home. Citi Field in Queens, New York, 87 Fahrenheit, clear, 6 miles per hour, sideways out to the right field pole. Sammy Long, so it's a bullpen day for the Giants, although Sammy Long is capable of doing, going for. 1-1, 5.72 ERA, 1.27 WHIP, 28 in the third, 31 Ks, 10 walks, 3 home runs. In his last start, he went 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 1 walk, but 4 Ks in a 4-1 loss at home to the Rockies. Tyler Megal, 1-2, 3.21 ERA, 1.16 WHIP, 56 innings, 60 Ks, 15 walks, 7 home runs. CT Base says Mets money line. Cash action bets on Mets, on New York Mets. Real Deal Prime says Mets win, Mets win. Mr. Nimbus says, Jimmy, if you like Minnesota, Jack starts, this is the time. I get it, but I don't really want to go against Houck, and the Red Sox so desperately need to get on a run now. Tom and Tom says Mets are in a free fall, but the only team I dislike more than the Mets is the Giants, and Gabe Kapler's done a great job, but I hear that. There's Mr. Gokster in the house. CT Bay says Mets different team at home. I expect Lindor Baez was helpful on Sunday. Tyler Megal. Last start at the Giants. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 6 Ks, 6.2 extra inning win. At home, he's 1-0 with a 2.45 ERA. Opponents hitting 206 against him. On the road, bad 0-2, 4.05 ERA. Opponents hitting 267 against him. Mets first lefties last 30 days, 249 with a 685 OPS, not hitting him. Giants first righties last 30 days, 249, 763 OPS. Giants bullpen last 30 days, unbelievable. 2.68 ERA, 0.93 WHIP. Now, they've only converted 11 of 16 save opportunities, but to get 16 save opportunities last 30 days is impressive compared to the Mets getting 8 with a 3.51 ERA, 1.17 WHIP. Real Deal Prime says San Francisco in a bad spot, guys. Real Deal Prime says San Francisco long traveling, takes a couple days to regroup. Kenny V says bullpen or not, San Francisco shouldn't be underdogs against anyone right now. All right, so let's dig in a little deeper. We're going to go over to the baseball data. These Mets haven't seen Sammy Long. And the Giants against Tyler Megal, 238 with a 590 OPS. He's been good against them. So let's move to the market. Let's go to full game. I'm still on first 5. So we're going to go to the market. Full game, Mets, Giants. We have this total opening up at 8.5 at a pick'em. There's been a 2-cent move to the under, or a 3-cent move. Mets opened up at -116. They're now -107. A 9-cent move to the San Francisco Giants. So let's take a look at where the cash lies. Here we go. We have 4,236 tickets in. 64% of the tickets on the Giants, but just 42% of the cash. That's an eye-opener to me. Then 48% of tickets on the over and 72% of cash on the over. And nobody knows on the first 5 under. There are variables in this spot that are uncomfortable for me. Firstly, though, I think Tyler Megal is susceptible seeing this team a second time, but he's been so good at home. And I'm going to have to stay off this spot. CT basis, Mets need buys versus lefty. Lindor would help. Lindor's been so bad this year. All right, so no move for me in a Giants-Mets. So we move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Texas Rangers 48-31, 15-47 on the road at the Cleveland Indians, 61-61, 32-27 at home. We're at Progressive Field, Cleveland, Ohio, 86 Fahrenheit, humid, partly cloudy, 3 miles per hour in. Taylor Hearn going up against Eli Morgan. And this was a spot where I came very close to moving on the Cleveland Indians, and I did not. I stopped myself, wanted to talk it out with you guys. Taylor Hearn has been pretty good this year. 2-4, 3.97 ERA, 1.32 WHIP, 65 2/3, 65 Ks, 32 walks, 10 home runs. Cash Action Bets is on Texas. And Kenny V saying Tyler Megal, 5.34 ERA in August. And Sean Thompson on the full game under 8.5, and the Giants for the Mets-Giants game. Taylor Hearn's last start was at home versus the Mariners. He makes it through 5 innings, allows 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, no walks, 2 Ks. Eli Morgan, 2-5, 5.80 ERA, 1.23 WHIP, 54 in the third, 54 Ks, just 12 walks, but 12 home runs. His last start was his best of the years at the Twins on the road. He goes 6 innings, allows 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 8 Ks. The problem is his splits. He's been good on the road all year. 1-1, 4 ERA, 2.16 opponent's batting average. It's at home that's been the problem. 1-4, 7.57 ERA, 2.95 opponent's batting average. But the Rangers are hitting 199 with a 594 OPS versus righties over the last 30 days, which makes me think that Eli Morgan's capable of a good start. And the Indians are smashing lefties, 276, 809 OPS. Rangers bullpen 3.44 ERA, 1.30 WHIP, converted 4.7 save opportunities last 30 days, pitching well. Indians bullpen is actually moving in the right direction after a real bad run. 4.29 ERA, 1.39 WHIP, have converted 6 of 11 save opportunities. So let's move over to the baseball data first. Only 2 batters have seen Hearn, and 1 at bat because 1 was a walk. And then no Rangers have seen Eli Morgan. So that leads me to liking unders in that kind of a situation. Then we're going to look at the market movement here, and this is what had kept me off. So let's see if it's changed now. Texas, Cleveland, this total opened up at 9. It's moved to 9.5 at Bet Online and Sports Interaction. The Indians opened up at minus 150. They're now minus 167. So a 17-cent move towards them. And there's Sharpie. Oh, God. And T-Mac is Taylor MacArthur. Okay, sweet. Taylor MacArthur. First off, Sharpie says, y'all can catch me at the Padres-Dodgers game tonight. Trying not to catch my 4th prison term. And Taylor MacArthur joining us here is killing it right now. And I don't think right now even needs to be said. He's really, really attacking the board well. I'm just going to pop Taylor MacArthur's Twitter handle in here. He's I will be retweeting your action more, T-Mac. I knew that you were, attacking the boards on Twitter, but I didn't know that you were also doing it in our chat here. So respect, Taylor, and I'll be more helpful getting you out there because you're doing a very, very good job and asking for nothing in return. So respect, T-Mac. Okay, so I hate seeing cash action bets on the Rangers. 17-cent move towards the Indians. Let's see where the cash lies here. 3,265 tickets in. 66% of the tickets on the Indians. 91% of the cash on the Indians. They're smashing lefties. And, look at the differences. The Indians versus lefties, 276, 809 OPS last 30 days. And the Rangers versus righties last 30 days, 199, 594 OPS. Oh, look at Crystal Warren. Already putting money forward to the Sharpie Bail Fund. Crystal Warren's money. No, we're moving towards Braves, Yankees, Sox, Bulls, Bears, and I can't wait to talk about it. But I'll let you know right now, I did move on the under 9.5 last night. But lots to talk about there. I hate that cash action is on the other side here. I think the Indians at home are the play. A very public spot, though. Let's just see what I would get on the -1 line. Minus 170 plus 115. I'm going to pop it into the run line calculator here. Minus 170 plus 115. Give me a minus 126. Again, anybody who needs a run line calculator, I'm going to pop it in the chat. Okay. I'm leaning towards the Indians -1, but those of you who know cash action bets, he's been with us since the beginning, OG Lowbagger, and he's a pro gambler. Fuck, I don't want to be going against him. All right, that might end up being a pass. All right, let's move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Next up, cash action said, Jimmy, that's my lean. I will only have 3 or 4 plays. Okay. The Warrior, I appreciate you, my friend. Eric Jones says, Cleveland has a bad record after throwing a shutout. Be careful with Cleveland. Banana Grapes joining us. Great to see you, Banana Grapes. And Rodney Barton is on the Cleveland run line. Okay. And Sharpie says, I haven't finished running my numbers yet, but is Cleveland first 5 spot or over first 5? Do you trust Morgan? That's the big thing. Do you trust Morgan? And I don't. But I think the advantage with the Indians versus lefties over Rangers versus righties is sort of what I'm focusing on the most right now. And I believe that this Indians bullpen is on the improve. James Little says, when are you talking week 0 college football? Good call. I will ask. I will talk. Maybe that's something that we do with Low Shack on Friday. Maybe we bring in a special guest. Good call. And there's Flipper 13. No, Pete is moving to Friday. So Friday you will see Pete here. Not in general. It'll still stay Tuesdays, but this week he's moving to Fridays. And Tyler McCoy says Miguel Rojas for over a half strikeout. I know Miguel has not striked out much. He's on a streak right now, but against the pitcher, he's a 111 batting average against Fried. 9 at-bats. Wow, that's a very interesting look, Tyler. Okay, so I guess when Cash Action says that it's a lean right now, I may make a move on it. There's big show picks. I heard a premise for a big show here on Pub Sports Radio that I thought was great. And I don't want to talk about it right now, but it's the outside-the-box premise that I loved. And I don't mean to give a hint about it, but I love it. All right, Matty Ice loving Nats. Full game over, a 3.5, and Nats first 5. And we already heard T-Mac liking Nats first 5. All right, let's move on to that game. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Washington Nationals 53-70, 22-37 on the road at Miami Marlins. 51-74, 30-30 at home. Those of you wanting to talk Yankees Braves, that's next up on the docket. Flipper 13, we've been trying to put a Vegas appearance together for November, but there's been some COVID issues that are making it uncomfortable. Mr. Nimbus says can't back Fetty. Cash Action Bets is on the Marlins. Yes, the pot's heating up. I'd love it. Big Show, can I? Well, I'll wait, but I'd love to give him a little hint about it because I think it's a great idea. Okay, and CT Bay says full game over Washington, Miami. Luzardo, 9.68 ERA last 30 days. Worst of any starter tonight. The issue is the Marlins' bats, but they've been terrible lately. Let's break it down. 53-70 are the Nats, 22-37 on the road. Marlins 51-74, 30-30 at home. We're at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. I expect the roof to be closed. Fetty, 5-8, 5.14 ERA, 1.43 whip, 96 in the third, 87 Ks, 41 walks, 14 home runs. And don't get me wrong, I would already be on this over if the market was moving towards the over. Last night, it wasn't. It was clearly going towards the under, and that just made me want to pause and talk it out. Last start, Fetty went 5 innings on 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 walks, 4 Ks in a 12-6 win at home versus Toronto. Going up against Jesus Luzardo. In Oakland, we thought this guy was going to be a possible ace for this team. 2-4, 6.87 ERA, 1.63 whip, 40 Ks in 38 innings, 16 walks, so 11 home runs allowed in 38 innings. In Miami, he's been even worse, but he's 2-2 with a 9.68 ERA, 2.09 whip, 17 Ks and 17 2/3, but 16 walks to go with those 17 Ks. Last start, 3 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 walks, 4 Ks, and an 11-9 loss at home versus the Braves. Nats over the last 30 days smashed lefties. We know that. But they smashed lefties all year. But over the last 30 days, 263, 798 OPS. Marlins versus Reddies, 248, 707 OPS. Nationals bullpen over the last 30 days, 6.04 ERA, 1.54 whip, have converted 6-14. The Marlins bullpen, 5.02 ERA, 1.45 whip, have converted 5-9. Matty I says Oakland's one of the smartest ran teams in baseball, and they let Luzardo go. That tells me a lot. I agree. Matty I says Washington's been scoring runs, and they are hot versus lefties. Luzardo's been bad. CT Bay says these starters are both awful with leaky pens behind them. Okay. Let's go to baseball data next. Baseball data. Here we go. Against Fetty, they're hitting 114 with a 358 OPS. They're 4 for 35 against Fetty. And the Nats haven't seen Luzardo. Crazy stat there. Genius expert. Says if you want a girlfriend, you got to have money and good muscle tone. Can't look like a wimp or be poor. Don't worry. You think we don't know? You think we don't know how to get women? It's this. That's how you get women. Guy's got pussy dripping all over him. Let's get back to work here. Sharpie says, so the game is going to the under because people are looking at last 30-day stats, not taking in the 15-day stats. It shows that both are trending the other way. Both bottom 15 last 15 days. Miami bottom 5. Interesting. Okay, so let's go over to what the market is doing right now. And Sharpie, do you have an idea of how you are attacking this? Nats, Marlins here. This total opened up at 8.5, juice to the over. It's now juice to the under. The Nats open up as favorites, and now the Marlins are favorites. I mean, that's just wild to me. And all year, I've just been stopping my tracks when I see this. The Marlins opened up at plus 105 yesterday at 3:34 p.m. They're now at minus 112. They got up to minus 115, and then there was some buyback on the Nats. Genius Expert, I own a 2005 Toyota Corolla, and I have a family of pigeons fucking on my balcony. All right. So let's move over to the cash. Here we go. Nats, Marlins, 3,555 tickets in. There are 55% of the tickets on the Marlins and 65% of cash on the Marlins. Then you have 53% of tickets on the under and 65% of cash on the under. You know, at this point, I have to stay off of this baseball game. I have to stay off of this baseball game and let you guys roll here. JJB says, if I named my pigeon family. Osby says, flex, Jimmy flex. Fuck, man. I'm 41. There'll be no more flexing until the kids go to university and I break up with my girlfriend. Okay. All right, I have to stay off this Nats Marlins game. Ixnizzle says 2006 Camry. Got 100,000 more miles in it. Hey, man, I got 300,000 kilometers. We talk kilometers, though. Okay. I'm off. Oh, Crystal Horn says you can watch the pigeons on OnlyFans, too. No, they've cut all that off. Okay, we move on to the big game everyone wants to talk about. 7:20 p.m. Eastern. New York Yankees at Atlanta Braves. 73-52. 34-27 on the road are the New York Yankees. Braves are 68-57. 31-30 at home. So, our man David Summers with a straight cash homie play of the day is the Braves full game minus 127. I did move on the Yankees Braves under 9.5. I really want to know what Sharpie was thinking on this spot. He says if I was to bet the first five under in Washington, if I was to bet it's the first five under in Washington. Miami 24th average, 25th OPS last 15, and it was 21st average, 12th OPS. Flipper says leaking out my life cheat codes. Okay. And Sox, Bulls, Bears says Charlie Morton to record a win at plus 150. Braves to score first and win game at plus 170. Says, what's your thoughts, boss man? I don't trust Mr. Heaney. So this is my thoughts, and this is why I moved on the under 9.5. First off, I love Morton in big games. I love Morton in big games. The shocking stats for me when I was breaking this down that I didn't expect. One was that the Braves were hitting 224 with a 700 OPS over the last 30 days versus lefties. That was surprised me. The Yankees versus righties, 238 with a 727 OPS the last 30 days. That really took me back. In my head, I'd kind of been expecting these teams to have been hitting the ball harder because of the massive win streaks that they were on. Matty I says Heaney has solid numbers against the Braves. The one thing that I'm unsure of is what's Heaney going to do after his first four starts in pinstripes, 3 of them coming at home and 1 coming in that disastrous game in Iowa. But the fact that the Braves aren't hitting lefties really stuck out like a sore thumb for me and made me move on the under 9.5 full game because of the Yankees bullpen pitching so well lately. 3.16 ERA, 1.19 whip, and the Braves bullpen doing the same. 3.34 ERA, 1.20 whip. Also, both bullpens have been shutting the door when getting the opportunity. And I know that these aren't the kind of stats we remember when we think of teams shutting the door, but there have just been so many blown saves this year. The Yankees are 16 over the last 22 in the last 30 days. The Braves are 10 for the last 13 over the last 30 days. So, Heaney, 8-8, 5.51 ERA, 1.28 whip, 116 innings, 135 Ks, 39 walks, 25 home runs. His last start at home versus Red Sox was excellent. It was an excellent start. 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 2 walks, 4 Ks, and 5-2 win. Sharpie says, I cashed on Yankees yesterday. It was an easy spot by the numbers. Today is a stay off. Braves can't hit left-handing pitching, but they walk the best, 12%, and strike out the least, 17%. I see the Braves runs today, but numbers scream New York. Mr. Gokster says, in 22 games this year, Heaney's given up 21 runs in the first. Joe Chris saying this is a live bet spot. Zach Wilson for MVP says Braves offense has been bad. Luke Murphy said, D teams, I never bet for or against Yankees, Astros, Dodgers. So LJ from H-Town says Yankees 41 runs total first 5 innings, last 10 games. CT Bay says Braves about to get scheduled. The Phillies and Mets had the next 2 weeks. We'll be fading Braves, but pass tonight. So I get the look on the Braves full game that David Summers is on. But at this point, I much prefer backing the under 9.5 and trusting the bullpens and trusting the weak numbers offensively and trusting a playoff type atmosphere. Let's take a look at the baseball data here. Against Heaney, 30 at-bats. They're 4 for 30. 4 for 30. 133 average, 388 OPS. Against Morton, 242 with a 777 OPS. And then you look at the big bats. Where are the big bats? Judge is 1 for 15 against them. Gallo's 0 for 13 against them. Sanchez 3 for 16 against them. Stan's 9 for 28 and Rizzo's 5 for 21, but he gets those big bats out. So let's move over to what the odds have done. And this it's now 9 across the board. That's good. I got in at 9.5 last night. And I remember I told you guys, even at 9:30 this morning, I still got a 9.5 at Bet365 at the same -120. The Braves go from -130 to -138, an 8-cent move towards the Atlanta Braves. David Summers says Yankees unders hitting at 56.6%, Braves unders hitting at 49.2%. Let's go right now to the cash that we see in this giant Yankees-Braves game. 5,069 tickets in. We have 51% of the tickets and 59% of the cash on the Braves and a market move towards them. Then we have 51% of the tickets and 66% of the cash on the Braves. You know, this is the move for me. This is the move for me. And I'm not going to add anything to it. I'm not going to add anything to it. The Yankees, Braves, under 9.5 -120. I don't want to get in the way of what the Yankees are doing. I do think that there's a fine amount. I think the line is sharp. Like, I get where the line is. And Sharpie says, so I've added in graphs from 30 days to 15 to show me who's playing well or up to par. It says Atlanta Yankees 15-day numbers are way better than their 30-day numbers. They're trending up by a lot. That's important. That's very, very important. No doubt about it. And, you know, when you stick to 30-day numbers, they may not be as good as 15-day numbers. And that's something that I might want to change in my own capping. So there you have it. I'm on the full game under 9.5. I beat the market move, and I don't feel like reaching for anything else here. All right, we move on. And we move on to Matty Ice, star of the Taint Play of the Day. And man, did I look at this for a long time, and I don't mean Mia Khalifa. He's on the Detroit St. Louis first 5 under 4.5 at -120. The Taint is 6-1 when Tigers are in the play. Detroit St. Louis first 5 under 4.5. Taint, baby. Taint! Tigers are 60-66, 27-36 on the road at the Cardinals, 63-60, 34-29 at home. Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. This, I have deja vu, and I was trying to figure out exactly what was the game that this happened to me. Same situation. 2 very good pitchers on the mound. The total, I mean, I don't know. It has gone up to 4.5 first 5 because I was looking at 4s nonstop, but it must. Let's see right now. First 5 total. So still fours for me right now. The fours are juiced. I was only looking at fours. I did not have the ability to. Oh, and Flipper says I must go take a shower. I'll leave you all with a gift. Tua to win NFL MVP at 50-1 or better. And Sharpie says, Mandy, I said maybe the way to look on this game was looking at a way to back Flaherty and fade the Detroit Bats. So what happened to me is for some reason when it gets this hot out, it messes with me. It messes with me. Now, when we have pitchers on the mound from hot climates, I trust them to handle the heat better. But when we have two Americans in the mound, it just confounds me. And this blew up in my face last time. Now, there was an easy under that I didn't have on my card because of it. And Matty Ice saying right now, 4.5 minus 120 at BetMGM. Right now, as we speak, the real DJX is on Cardinals minus 1.5. Here we go. 92 Fahrenheit at Busch Stadium at 7 p.m., but it feels like 108 Fahrenheit. Humid. 9 miles per hour sideways across the diamond. George Gutierrez says, Flipper, stay in the shower all day just for that. Casey Mize has not looked as good of late. We wonder if there's an inning limit. They are watching his innings closely. Last start, he went just 4 innings, allowed 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 4 Ks, 8-2 loss at home versus the Angels. He's 6-6 with a 3.69 ERA, 1.17 WHIP, 124 in the third, 98 Ks, 36 walks, 22 home runs. Going up against Flaherty, 9-1, 2.68 ERA, 0.96 WHIP, 74 innings, 80 Ks, 21 walks, 9 home runs. He's looked very good since he's returned. Although he did get tagged a little bit in his last start at home versus the Brewers. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, solo shots, 1 walk, 8 Ks, and the 6-4 loss. At home, though, he's 4-0 with a 1.74 ERA, 159 opponent's batting average. On the road, 5-1, 3.35 ERA, 208 opponent's batting average. The Tigers versus righties last 30 days, just 220, 651 OPS. Cards versus righties, 265, 754 OPS. And every time you see a team putting together wins, you know that their bullpen has improved. Cards bullpen now last 30 days, 3.25 ERA, 1.12 WHIP, converted 6 of 10. The Tigers bullpen, after that real hot streak they had, are falling back off again. 3.83 ERA, 1.48 WHIP, converted 7 of 9. Matty Ice says Flaherty's the top 3 right-handed pitcher in all of baseball. Love him. There's Unc Oliver in the house. Says hearing your voice and Tata snoring. Both beautiful sounds. And Diesel Eugene hung like a baby carrot play of the day's Angels team total over 5.5. Angels team total over 5.5. That's a very interesting spot against the Orioles. Wow. Trusting a team that is not hitting right now. Very, very against the Orioles team that's giving up a ton. I get it. Okay. All right. So I love that you're getting the 4.5. That's huge. Let's move over to the baseball data here. Against the Cardinals have never seen Mize, and against Flaherty, they're hitting 292 with a 763 OPS. They're 7 for 24, but that's 6 singles and 1 homer. A homer from Jeimer Candelario. So if I could get the 4.5, I'd be right with you. And what we've seen from Mize is he steps up when he pitches against top competition, and this is top competition. So let's go over. Oh, they're banging now. They're back banging on the balcony. Let's go over to. And the total did open at 4.5 as well. Let me point that out. God, the Cardinals are just such big favorites. First 5, minus 240. We're going to go to full game money lines and totals here. Full game money lines and totals. The Cardinals opened up at minus 169. They're now minus 231. So they're now minus 235, bet 365. I could have got the Cardinals at minus 200. I could have got them minus 200, and that was late. That was me getting in late. That was me getting in at like midnight because I was working on NFL futures and NFL breakdowns. At midnight, I could have beaten this market move by 35 cents, and I didn't do it then. I'm not going to do it now. And let's just look at the market move on the first 5 money line for the Cardinals. I probably should have done it. It's minus 240 at BetOnline. They're going to give me the change. So it hasn't even moved at BetOnline. BetOnline opens it at 721 this morning at minus 240. It immediately moves 13 cents to the Cardinals. 13 cents to the Tigers, and then back to minus 245 for the Cardinals. So if I wanted the Cardinals first 5, I can't. I mean, I would have to take a minus a half, obviously, to get the juice down. But even then, it's not worth it. To me, it's not worth it against Mize, who is capable of stepping up in a situation like this. I'm going to move over to the first 5 minus a half if I wanted to bet it right now. If I wanted to bet it right now, the Cardinals, it'd be minus 155. That's just too expensive. It's just too expensive. Matty Ice says Cardinal run line is on my card. Even that, I could. So when it was minus 200, I could have got the run line at plus 100. And I could have put together a minus 150, minus 1, and I didn't do that. Sharpie says, I like the under first 5. Last 15 days, the power's gone from St. Louis bats. First right-handed pitching. 30 days, 12th OPS. Last 15 days, 18th OPS. Important. And Ixnizzle just bought the 4.5 for minus 130. Let's see what it would cost me. Minus 150 if I wanted to do that. All right. I have to. Real Deal Prime says open the window a little more. God, these pigeons, they just no respect. Just hammering away here with eyes. Just staring at me. Deacon Mike in the house. What up, Deacon? Okay, we move on here from this spot, but I feel like I'm leaving money on the table, and it is what it is. All right, we move on. 8:05 p.m. Eastern, Colorado Rockies 57-68, 14-46 on the road at the Chicago Cubs 55-72, 32-31 at home, Wrigley Field, Chicago, Illinois. Here's another spot, just like the Angels, where we have the team under 500 in August on the road, and they were 19-0 going into the weekend. Oh, respect, Ixnizzle. Oh, thank you, Slats. The Pigeon Exterminator Fund. Thank you. And look, Unc Oliver, Slats, you're a good man. Thank you for the dono. And thank you so much for your support. Unc Oliver, Tigers, Cardinals, full game over. Tigers money line, first 5. Contrarian look for our guy, Unc Oliver. George Gutierrez says, give me the Cubs. So the thing about this spot, and I probably should have predicted it, and I really wonder what Ron Crawford, if he knows that these road favorites under 500, they're being bet against. Because remember on Friday, we had the Cubs-Royals spot where the Royals opened up as road favorites and money came in on the Cubs. I comfortably bet the Royals, and it was an easy casher. Easy. Well, it took Ian Happ to make an ass clown decision, but it was an easy catcher. All right. This is another situation where the market's moving towards the Rockies, and I had to stop myself. 84 Fahrenheit, humid, partly cloudy, 9 miles per hour out to left center here. We're at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. German Marquez, 11-9, 3.80 ERA, 1.17 whip, 147 innings, 151 Ks, 52 walks, 15 home runs. Crystal Warren says, Jimmy going to buy a Red Ryder BB gun with that cash. Look, we all know what happens if I have a weapon. I will get shot or hurt with that weapon. That's why I'm not going to bring a knife to a fight, because I will get stabbed with that knife. I'm not going to bring a gun to a battle because I'll get shot with that gun. I know that shit. That's why I just use a sharpened chopstick. Nobody sees it coming. Nobody expects it. And then I run away. German Marquez. Last start, 6 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, all solo shots, 1 walk, 4 Ks, and a 7-3 win at home versus the Padres. At home, he's 8-2 with a 3.13 ERA, opponents hitting 200. On the road, 3-7, 4.81 ERA, 255 opponents batting average. Going up against Justin Steele, 2-2, 3.22 ERA, 1.25 whip, 22 1/3, 27 Ks, 11 walks, 5 home runs. In his last start, he went 4 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 walks, 5 Ks, in a 14-5 loss at the Reds. How is Justin Steele taking money? How? So you're trying to I thought you were Frankie Cheeks. I'll always be Frankie Cheeks. Rockies versus lefties, 281, 852 OPS last 30 days. That alone makes me want to bet the Rockies. Why would the market be moving towards the Cubs? Cubs versus righties, 242, 687 OPS last 30 days. Rockies bullpen, 4.62 ERA, 1.39 whip, converted 5.9. They've been much better. And here you go, gamblers first glance, Miami money line. Ooh, look at that. Gamblers first glance is in. Wow. Gamblers first glance in Miami Marlins money line, a game that I did not move on. What an interesting take from our Razor. Sharp picks. And check out Gamblers first glance on our YouTube page here at Pub Sports Radio. Okay, so Cubs bullpen being atrocious last 30 days. 6.57 ERA, 1.55 whip. I've converted 3 of 4 save opportunities. All right, let's move over to the baseball data here. Let's move over and look at Viper MB says I'm on that as well. Fetty's a bum. Ooh, that's an exciting bet. Against Marquez, these guys are hitting 261 with a 783 OPS. So Bodie 3 for 6, Hayward 3 for 6, Chirinos 0 for 7, Happ 0 for 2, and the Rockies have not seen Justin Steele, but they smashed lefties. Now let's go back to the market and see what this market has done on this spot. I'm shocked. I'm legitimately shocked that I'm not already on the Rockies. And you know what? Not only that. So last night, I couldn't take the -1 line. For whatever reason, Bet365 had money lines and run lines on every game except for the Rockies game. So I could only take the Rockies at -155. So that's about 11 o'clock night. At about 12:30, 1 a.m., I check again, and it's down to -150, still no run line. Today I look, it's all the way down to -140. The run line's up at +120. So there you go. -129 is at Pinnacle, and it opened at -142, so a 13-cent move towards the Cubs. Now let me go back to this again and see what they're offering me just to know firsthand. A -135 is what they're offering me right now. -135 on the Rockies and +125. So a 20-cent move since last night. I mean, that's just – so let's see where the cash lies here. And I'm going to have to message Ron Crawford if this keeps happening time again. 3,555 tickets in. 65% of the tickets on the Rockies. 79% of cash on the Rockies. So why is there this market move? 61% of tickets on the under. 73% of cash on the under. I mean, it's just nuts to me. Deacon Mike says, Steele in love with his pathetic fastball. Wind blowing out. I'm betting over 2.5 homers. Crystal Warren says, Rockies are past. Cubs can't win back-to-back games. Sharpie says Cubs have got worse from 30 to 15 days, while Colorado stayed a top 5 team versus left-handed pitching. Cubs pen bottom 5. Colorado over 4.5 -120 easy. Cash Action Bet says I took Cubs last night. Sharpie says the people betting the Cubs are giving away money. Colorado first 5, best bet. Rockies team total over 4.5. Well, Colorado first 5, best bet. Rockies team total over 4.5. Says Cubs have got worse 30 to 15 days, while Rockies have stayed top 5 versus left-handed pitching. Wow. That's just, I mean, okay, I'm going to have to sit with this. It's, there's Trotwam in the house. It's just a wild situation. And I feel like I should just trust the spot, fade these Cubs. God, I want to do it so badly. Just absolutely wild to me. Real Deal Prime says Justin can pitch too close to call. Damn, OG double. I'm sorry to hear that. Cash Action Bet says Cubs side last night. Oh, you had Cubs last night, lean Rockies tonight. Okay, sorry, I read that wrong. Morgan Spooner says got to move on this team total. And Trolwam says Ski said yesterday if you bet the Cubs, call 1-800-GAMBLER. He said, Jimmy, if you are stressed that you haven't bet them, don't bet it. Yeah, I'm not going to right now. But I just have I've been all year, when the things don't correlate and they don't all line up, I've stayed off of it. So why do I need to push it now? And it's just because I'm sitting here now plus 1.85 units on the year, and I'm angry. Okay. So we move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Cincinnati Reds 69-57, 33-28 on the road at Milwaukee Brewers 76-49, 34-28 at home. And it brings us to a very important part of our show. Our producer, Jose, has COVID. And this is a very important time of the year because he needs to sweep the board this week to shave his mustache and keep his job. If he doesn't go 4-0 this week, he has to keep the mustache. He just has to keep the mustache. And now he's sick and he's vulnerable. And then I care about the man very much. And so it's a very tricky situation here. Please welcome to the show now, dealing with COVID, Jose. Jose, how are you?
Hello, Jimmy. I'm doing well. I can't do the show with this mask on, but I know you wanted to see the mustache. Let's get a good look at it, too. In this last week of the mustache. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay. Could you please I know we want to yell at you. We want to joke around, and we want you to go 4-0. We want you to keep your job. But could you just let us know how long you've had COVID, what the situation is, how long you have to stay inside, and how you're feeling?
Well, how long I've had COVID is a good question. I thought I had allergies on Thursday night. I was drippy, had watery eyes, and then that lasted up until yesterday. I got tested on Saturday, I think. No, yesterday. I got tested yesterday and found out yesterday. So, see, that was the COVID talking right there. But yeah, I feel fine. It's whatever. I have to stay inside of this house for a long time until Friday. So I've been in here for a while now. But I am double vaxxed up. And like we said, I need going to get tested on Friday. Come up negative Friday, and then we'll ride.
So we caught it after being double vaccinated.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my Venezuelan immune system just isn't hit.
What was the shot? What did you get? Pfizer?
Sure. Yeah, I think so. I got my card around here somewhere, but I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Slat says conspiracy theory. Jose looks the same as he did after drinking his mini barrel.
That is true. I do have that post-COVID glean a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little sweaty. I'm wearing new underwear, so it's a little hot down there.
Yeah, you don't need to let us know about any of that. Okay, well, Jose, look, this is a hugely important week for you, and you have to sweep the board because it sounds like you're just going to shave your mustache, and you know that losing cappers can't make their own decisions on the show.
That is true. Losing that deserves to be on a
Wipe
shirt.
Wipe that smile off your goddamn face.
Yes, losing cappers don't get to smile either.
Cincinnati Reds and Milwaukee Brewers. I moved on the first 5 under 4 at -125. I thought I was going to get screwed here because Pinnacle moved it to 3.5 before Bet365 offered it. They were the only book to move it to 3.5. I'm like, I'm going to get screwed here. And then finally came up first 5 under 4 -125, and I bet it about as fast as I possibly could because I knew it was going to go down to 3.5. We've talked about Tyler Mahle being the most predictable pitcher in baseball. I know you want to touch on that, and I find this game very fascinating because of Tyler Mahle. Also, there's rain early in the forecast at Milwaukee, American Family Field, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So the roof will likely be closed, and I don't expect them to open it. Ski Prophet says, damn, COVID and can't even smile. Give him a break, Jimmy. No. He understands the situation he's in. All he has to do is put together a winning record on the show.
That's all I got to do, and it's going to be great. And we're going to know immediately with this bet today, Jimmy. We will know immediately how the week is going, and that's what I think I love most about this bet.
Well, let's hear what it is, Jose. Jose was running strong last week. He'd gone 3-0 heading into Friday, and he lost a big one. He lost the Dodgers team total over 4.5, and that was juiced at -132. So now we see Jose 28-31 down 3.51 units, ROI -5.95%, average line +101. Jose, how are you betting Reds Brewers?
Mr. Gokster and I have the same mind. And it is no runs first inning in this spot, -117. We've talked about Tyler Mahle plenty of times, and I've never really looked into his splits because, I know what they are, but I didn't know how dramatic they were. At home, 63 innings pitched, a 6 ERA for Molly. Away, 72 2/3 inning pitch, a sub-2 ERA on the road. Insanity. Absolutely insane. He's given up only 3 home runs on the road all year, which is really the stat that I would be looking for. I bet a no-run first inning opening day last year, Max Scherzer versus Garrett Cole. Of course, Mike Stanton takes Scherzer deep, ruins my bet. I'm looking for a no-run first inning here again. I believe in Corbin Burns. He keeps the ball out of the home run, out of the bleachers, I should say. Tyler Mahle, better on the road. Let's get in and out of here quickly. -117. Let's do it.
I get it. And a lot of people backing Mahle and the Reds as well. First 5. Very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. So let's break this down a little more. Sammy Culmer's SJC capping. I think I knew that. Let me just copy and paste that to make sure I knew that, Sammy. I do want to support all of the low baggers on Twitter as much as possible. So if I don't, let me know.
Oh, and shout out to Crystal Warren, by the way, who donated earlier to Slatsy's relief fund, bailout fund. Donated $5 to the stream earlier. I forgot to mention that too.
Yeah, Crystal Warren's money. We love capping with her. Okay, so here we go. We broke down Mahle. We haven't quite broke down Corbin Burns, but he's coming off a really nice start at the Cardinals. 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 3 Ks. He's got a 2.13 ERA, 0.91 whip on the season. The Reds are hitting righties harder than any team in the league over the last 30 days. 280 with a 909 OPS. Brewers versus righties last 30 days, smashing them as well. 273, 822 OPS. Reds bullpen last 30 days, a little better than their season-long numbers. 4.58 ERA, 1.42 whip. Have converted 7 of 11 save opportunities. Brewers bullpen slipping a little. 3.82 ERA, 1.38 whip. Have converted 10 of 14 save opportunities. Let's go to the market here in this game. We'll start with full game money lines and totals in the spot. Here we go. Reds, Brewers. Brewers opened up at -173. They're now -205, a 32-cent move towards them. And this total opened up at 7.5 as a pick 'em. It's now -111 to the under, so a 5-cent move towards the under. Let's bring up the baseball data here. Against Mahle, 250 with an 804 OPS, or 21 for 84 with 8 extra base hits out of the 21, 4 doubles, and 4 jacks. And then against Burns, 209 with a 646 OPS. Then let's take a look at the cash flow. And here we go. This should tell an interesting tale. 3,101 tickets in. 54% of the tickets on the Brewers, but 85% of the cash. Wild. Then 71% of tickets on the over and 64% of cash on the over. That makes me uncomfortable. Let's go back to the first 5 total and see what it is right now. And hopefully that's them attacking the bullpen. Hopefully it's still 3.5s across the board. And it's not. Mostly 3.5s, but Bodog, Heritage, and Sports Interaction all hanging 4s. Wow. Crystal Warren said this is going to be like a playoff game. Under.
I was really looking at, Jimmy, sorry to interrupt you. For my no-run first inning bet, I was really looking at Votto as the person that would concern me. And Votto, 1 for 10 against Corbin Burns, 2 Ks. So I really think this is a smash and grab, Jimmy. Get in and get out.
And Nolan No says drop the person, bet the first 5 under. Well, I've already bet it. First 5 under 4 -125, but I wanted to see 3.5s across the board right now. I'm a little nervous that's not the situation. So here we go. There's a couple, clearly people care about you here, Jose. They care about your well-being, and they also want you to keep your job and stay as part of the show. We've had some interesting thoughts and ideas. Michael Evelina, though, says if you lose today, you have to take 3 games tomorrow. I don't know if that's the case here. J Dub, though, says no need to kick Jose off the show. Just take away his pick privileges.
Well, I mean, that's just basically kicking me off the show.
No, it's not, because you keep your job. Nasty Nate says, Jimmy, if he shaves his stash, he should have to shave his head also to keep his job. Look, let's not go there. He's got 2 options, very simple options. He can win out this week and succeed under pressure, or he can keep his goddamn mustache. Those are his 2 options.
It's tough. It's a tough option to go with. There's already been graphics made for the future. There's a lot, like you said, Jimmy. I am kind of a vital part of Pub Sports.
And there we go. Cincinnati Reds at Milwaukee Brewers. Jose is on the no-run first inning at minus 117. And I am on the Cincinnati Reds, Milwaukee Brewers under 4 at minus 125. We move on. 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Next up, Kansas City Royals 56-68, 24-37 on the road at Houston Astros 73-52, 39-25 at home. Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. The roof is expected to be closed. Brady Singer going up against Luis Garcia. And man, these Royals have been right there with the sharpened chopstick at the larynx of these Houston Astros. My goodness. Brady Singer, 3-8, 5.23 ERA, 1.60 whip, 98 innings, 100 Ks, 42 walks, 8 home runs. It was his fourth straight home start last out against the Astros, and he had three home starts in a row that were absolutely terrible. Atrocious home starts. Then 6 2/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 2 walks, 6 Ks, and a 3-2 win at home versus the Astros. And Luis Garcia was somebody that I backed in his last start, trying to get money back. It was just, it was one of the worst times I've had watching a baseball game, probably all year, to be honest with you. I had this knot in my stomach, like I had messed up, and he went 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 3 Ks. He did not look good, and we'll go over his road splits in a second. In a 6-3 extra inning win at the Royals, they came back and cashed for me late. And cashed. I was on the -1. I did not deserve to get the win there, and I felt like an asshole. At home, Garcia is 5-3 with a 2.02 ERA, 187 opponent's batting average. He's been very good. On the road, 4-3 with a 4.97 ERA, 255 opponent's batting average. The Royals over the last 30 days are hitting 233 with a 662 OPS versus righties. Astros versus righties, 280, 814 OPS. But we saw them, and then that made me so angry that I said on Friday, I was like, these guys, finally getting away from the Royals, are going to smash the Mariners. And yet I didn't even take it. And I had all my leans on Friday, the ones with 4 question marks beside, all cashed. And God, it was a really angry weekend. Really angry weekend. T says, Jimmy, I got all my bets in today, so I get the rare chance to watch the show live. T, we love capping with you. Absolutely love capping with you. Let me get this. God, sorry. All right, there we go. Jeez. And you know what? If that just said, what's happening? I thought I got this guy gone. Did I not? Okay, yeah, I did. If that just said hot girls video chat, but they have to add hot boys in, and you're bounced. All right. Royals bullpen 3.73 ERA, 1.11 whip, converted 6 of 9 save opportunities. Astros bullpen 3.28 ERA, 1.21 whip, have converted 3 of 6 save opportunities. Clearly a thorn in the side of the Houston Astros right now. Let's move over to the cash and see what we are dealing with here. And the first 5 total went from 5 to 4.5, so they expect another strong start from Brady Singer. Then we're going to go to full game money lines and totals here. The Astros open up at minus 235. They're now minus 244. A 9-cent move towards them. Then we have the total opening up at 9 and moving to 8.5. Let's go over to baseball data. Brady Singer against these guys, they're hitting 240 with a 536 OPS. I mean, he's completely shutting them down. They're 6 for 25 with 6 singles. And then against Luis Garcia, 267 with a 761 OPS. Crystal Warren said if it said hot pigeons, well, look, then it'd be my own channel that they'd be watching. Okay, here we go. Cash flow. Here we go. Houston, KC, 3,921 tickets in. 73% of the tickets on the Astros, 81% of the cash on the Astros. And only a 9-cent move. 80% of tickets on the over, 90% of cash on the over. And it's gone from 9 to 8.5. Lee Hellinger said, any parlay you're liking, 3-team parlay. We can go over everything one more time, but I just don't see the value on. I mean, if it was a little when we did take the Astros in that game, we were getting a pretty decent number. But now you're getting a really expensive price to back the Astros, and Brady Singer's completely had their number. So it'll be no move for me in Astros Royals. We get to the final game on the card, and we don't know who is pitching. Has that changed? In the Dodgers game, it has not. So we know that Luis Urias will be on the mound, but that is all we know for Dodgers Padres. We'll briefly talk about Urias and then move over. Deacon Mike says Royals been hitting the ball all over the field. Sanka says Houston sucks. And Slatsy says Charlie Watts dead at 40 or 80, excuse me. The Jimmy Hayes death yesterday is just I just need more information on it. 31 years old and just had a son, and I believe that was his third child. And I need to get more information on that, but it's tough. Charlie Watts dead at 80 is sad, but I really want to know what happened to Jimmy Hayes. And there's been a lot of deaths in communities right now, and I know that my hometown, Vancouver, is reeling. There's 3 16-year-old hockey players, hockey stars, died in a car accident early Saturday morning, and so life is tough, and life is precious, and all we can do is love the people that love our family, love our friends as much as possible, and call your dad, call your mom, call people that you don't call enough, because you don't know if they're always going to be there, and be thankful and love everybody as much as possible. Julio Urias, last start, 5 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks, and a 6-5 extra inning win at the Mets. He's had a good season, but he's got weird splits, so keep this in mind when you're capping this game. 3-1, 3.86 ERA, 251 opponent's batting average at home. Bad. On the road, he's 10-2 with a 2.88 ERA, 212 opponent's batting average. He's a little more vulnerable at home, but the Padres aren't hitting lefties, 251, 712 OPS. So, there's not a lot to talk about other than Julio Urias not as good at home as he's on the road, and we'll see if that's a situation we want to attack or take advantage of once we know who it is that is going up against Urias and what the market is. So there is your MLB card right there. Let's break it down exactly and go over the plays of the day. First off, the Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day, Oakland Athletics, and Turnsies on the Seattle-Oakland no-run first inning, and I have interest on the first 5 over. Patrick Brana says, truth, Jimmy, well said, life is short, family's the most important thing. It isn't the most important thing, it's the only thing. And Birdie agreeing with all that. And Jose saying he's going to remind me of that speech when I shave. And look at that. Windsor Spitfires named Mark Savard their new head coach. That's exciting. And Noli No says Dodgers about to sweep. Deacon says, can I call you if I ever make it to Toronto and get tossed in jail? Of course you can. Of course you can. That would be huge laughs. I'd get huge laughs out of it. I'd get somebody to film me coming down to bail you out. And I'm sure that would be some of the best content that I'm possibly able to create, Deacon. Okay, so I am close to moving on that first 5 over. I'm going to look at it a little more. I feel like Flexen and Irvin could get touched here today. That's what I think. Then we have the next spot, Angels, Baltimore. We have the Angels and Rockies as road teams under 500 that are favorites, and we know that they were 19-0 going into the weekend, and yet I haven't moved on either of them. I'm a little nervous about this spot, Bundy and Spencer Watkins, but the hung like a baby carrot play of the day from Diesel Eugene is the Angels team total over 5.5. Then from Mike M., the pimp slap play of the day is Arizona first 5 under 4.5. He says, take this little gift from the bookies. I'm on this little gift from the bookies. Arizona, Pittsburgh first 5 under 4.5 at -115. I also doubled up on the Diamondbacks. Doubled up on the Diamondbacks first 5 -1/2 and full game. Pretty. Then the Blue Balls pick of the day from Jeffrey Blue is the Rays team total over 4.5. And he wants a live bet at 2 if Suarez can hold him down in the first few innings. And it's funny because I'm the other way around. I'm already on Tampa Bay Philly under 9 minus 105, but the no-run first inning and Phillies team total under are very interesting spots for me. I moved on the White Sox plus 110. I'm fading my hometown Blue Jays. This bullpen is used key pieces last night and is struggling and is dealing with injuries. And I think the White Sox are in a nice spot. Now, if Tim Anderson can be in the lineup, that would help a lot. Then the first 5 under 6, I have a question mark beside it in Twins Red Sox. CT Bays loves the spot. Does not expect 7 runs in the first 5 innings with Jax going up against Houck. But I need to look at that further. No move for me in Giants Mets. I want the Indians -1. I want them against lefties. I want them against the Rangers here. I'm going to move on the Indians -1. Razor Sharp picks a gambler's first glance is the Miami Marlins money line -112 versus the Nationals. We talked about this game a lot. I can't wait to watch Razor Sharp's video on our YouTube page. Obviously, he's going to put trust in Jesus Luzardo and fading Eric Fetty. And I think it'll be a fascinating video that he puts out. So there you go. The Miami Marlins is Gambler's First Glance Razor Sharp Picks. Look, check that out on our YouTube page. I'm on the under 9.5 in Yankees Atlanta Braves. I got that last night. I beat the market move, and I like it a lot. And it's my only move. It's my only spot here. Now, David Summers, OG Lowbagger with his straight cash homie play of the day. Braves full game money line. I don't dislike it. Turnsy says, I missed the Jays breakdown. You aren't expecting Berrios to have a bounce back? I don't know what Berrios is going to do, but I have an advantage. I have 3 things in my corner. 1, I'm getting a plus line. I'm getting a plus 110 spot. I don't know if I take it at a minus 110. Getting plus 110. I like the implied probability of it. I have the better baseball team. Even without Anderson out of the lineup, the Jays are missing George Springer. And I have a very vulnerable Blue Jays bullpen that I expect to get attacked. That's how I see things. CJM says, you ever eat at Richmond Station in Toronto? The best. Oh, I don't even know what the hell that is. I'm going to copy and paste that right now. And Deacon Mike says a fascinating video would be Razor shaving that Amish beard of his. Okay, so then I looked at that first 5 under 4 nonstop. Matty Ice from the BetMGM Sportsbook. It's still available right now. A TAINT play today is the first 5 under 4.5 at -120. TAINT is 6-1 when the Tigers are in play. Matty Ice lives close to that Comerica Park in Detroit, and I get it. And if I could get a 4.5, I'd probably move on it too. And I probably should have moved on the Cardinals at -200 last night. That was clearly what I should have done when it's now -235 in my book. But I'd already missed the beginning of the market move. All right. Okay, pretty giving us a breakdown. And Joe Yurkovich says, yes, Jimmy. Jay's also not hitting lately. I love when Joe Yurkovich is on the same side as me. Okay, so we move on. I can't believe I'm not on the Rockies. I can't believe I'm letting this market move scare the shit out of me, but I am. And I think I'm leaving money on the table, and maybe I get some confidence and an attack. Maybe I get some confidence and attack this spot here. And you know, I'm going to message Ron Crawford and ask him how often, if he knows how often a situation like this with the road favorite that's cashing nonstop has had a big market move against, because we saw that on Friday with the Royals against Cubs. Royals had the big market move against them. I had the confidence to stay with the Royals, and it was an easy casher. Then Jose Say Hey play of the day is no run first inning at -117. Then I'm on the Reds Milwaukee Brewers under 4 -125. That's a lot of juice, but I'm thankful that I got it before it's 3.5. No move for me in Royals Astros, and we don't know who's pitching against the Dodgers, but we did hear from. You have it. There is our show for today. Tomorrow, we have an appearance from MLB handicapper Hunter Engelhardt. Hunter Engelhardt will be breaking down some baseball games, some looks that he will be attacking. On Thursday, we have Noli Knows, the legend of unders, going to be joining us. That'll be very exciting. And then Friday will be a Loshak in the Bag show. Don't forget, the first NFL future videos will be out tonight. NFC West NFC South will be out tonight. I'll be breaking them down with Bobano here shortly. But more importantly, thank you guys for all your support. Truly have nothing without you guys. Joey Yurkovich, Viral Video saying Diamondbacks Pirates win today. I hope so. Turnsy, Johnny K, Crystal Warren. Love capping with Crystal Warren and Sanka, Sammy Culmer, Jared JB, Big Daddy Boom, a.k.a. Mr. Know-It-All, a.k.a. Leo Leon, Birdie, Trotwam, Mr. Gokester, Nate, Dog Tease, Jeffrey Blue, Real Deal Prime, C. James, Deacon Mike, all you guys, thank you so much for your support. Big Drew, by the way, is on the Dodgers in the under. Lee Hellinger, a 3-team parlay. Sorry I didn't get to that, but I did go over all my actions, so you can pick your favorite 3 spots out of them. Much love to you guys. I am so thankful to be able to cap a show with you guys as much as possible. I enjoy it immensely. On behalf of our producer for at least the next 4 days, Jose Bouquet, and everybody here at Pub Sports Radio, get that cash! Leche. Hey, those bookmakers!
Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.